I want to thank Senator Menendez for chairing this critically important hearing and to thank you, Secretary Clinton, for testifying today. We deeply regretted you were unable to appear before due to your illness, and I'm thrilled to see you've made a full recovery. I want to start by just thanking you for your remarkable leadership as Secretary of State. One of many stops in the million miles that you've traveled and the 112 countries you visited was a stop we shared jointly on a trip to Liberia for the second inauguration of Ellen Sirleaf Johnson. And it gave me an opportunity as a freshman senator to see up close your remarkable skills and stamina and your determination. In my view, your leadership has helped restore America's credibility, build bridges with our international partners, and you've also built bridges here on the Hill, where your leadership at State is respected on both sides of the aisle and has been widely praised. While your likely successor, Senator Kerry, has my full confidence, you will be deeply missed. You said in your opening statement you're determined to leave the State Department and our country safer, stronger, and more secure, and in my view, because of your leadership, they are. Today we continue the consideration of the recommendations of the Advisory Review Board, which found that security was, quote, grossly inadequate to deal with the attack that took place in Benghazi in September. The mistakes that were made are simply unacceptable, and I'm pleased that the State Department has begun to promptly implement the Board's recommendations thanks to your leadership. I know you agree that the massive security failures, such as those witnessed in Benghazi that cost the lives of 4 brave Americans, simply cannot happen again. And I look forward to working with my colleagues on this committee in a searching review of the resources needed and the State Department structure to ensure that we do better to protect our diplomats and other Americans who put their lives at risk each and every day. As chairman of the Africa Subcommittee, I'm particularly pleased that you have drawn for this committee today in your testimony the links between this tragic incident in Benghazi, the recent terrorist incident in Algeria, and the unfolding challenges in Mali. I chaired a hearing on Mali on December 5th and have been impressed with your engaged leadership visits to Algeria, sort of raising the alarm about AQIM. And I welcome your testimony today on how you see the regional threats from AQIM, how you see the consequences of this recent incident in Algeria, and what role you think there is for the United States in both supporting the current actions by the French and the Malian military and the need for our ongoing insurance investment to restore democracy in Mali, to restore development and some positive prospects moving forward for the people of Mali, and how you think we can ensure that state and defense are coordinating through AFRICOM in West and North Africa going forward.
Well, Senator, I appreciate greatly your sustained attention to Africa, and I think it's going to be viewed as quite prophetic because there will be, I believe, a continuing set of challenges. You mentioned some of them, but by no means we've got Boko Haram in Nigeria posing the threat of instability to one of the most important oil-producing nations in the world, something very important to our country. We've got other unrest and challenges coming down the west coast of Africa. But we also have a success story, at least a hoped-for beginning success story in Somalia. And what did the United States do there? You know, when I became Secretary of State, I recommitted American money to the AMISOM forces. We worked to train the Ugandans and the Burundis and others. We worked with the Kenyans when they went in. We worked with the Djiboutis. It took time. There were no shortcuts, but we had literally the boots of our American soldiers and the boots of American diplomats on the ground. I visited one of the training camps in Uganda. And what we have to do is recognize we're in for a long-term struggle here. And that means we've got to pay attention to places that historically we have not chosen to or had to. So I would hope that this committee can make that case to the rest of the Congress. We're now looking at, troops coming from other neighboring African countries. We can't just send them into Mali. They don't have training to do that. We're going to have to work with other partners to train them and equip them and then to sustain them, just like we did with the troops in Somalia. So, You know, 4 years ago, al-Shabaab was one of the biggest threats not only to East Africa, but to the United States. We have a chance to really continue on a positive track there, but it didn't happen by accident. It took American money, American know-how, American experience, and we have to make the decision we're going to do the same in North Africa as well.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. I certainly look forward to continuing to get your advice, direction, and encouragement as I try to work with my colleagues here to ensure the same sort of success going forward in West Africa that we've recently enjoyed in East Africa. Thank you for your testimony.
Senator McCain.